Isn't it interesting how much another person's opinion can dictate what you do or what you don't do? Isn't it interesting how much the illusion of another person having a thought, and I'm going to be going back to that, the reason why I said illusion. Isn't it interesting how much that can shrink who you are? The ego is very, very tricky. The ego likes to create an imaginary audience. An imaginary audience of people who are looking at you, an imaginary audience of people who are judging you, an imaginary audience of people who are having all these different opinions about what you were doing. Let me give you a few examples. From my own personal experience, and I'm not too sure if you can relate to this, but I've had times where I've been walking down the street and I've been putting music on and I've been walking, and the ego creates this idea that there is this imaginary audience looking at me the way that I'm walking, thinking that I'm so cool. And then I catch it and I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? Or I'm at the gym and my ego creates this imaginary audience of all these people looking at me lifting weights and thinking, damn, that dude is super strong. Damn, that dude works out intense. It just happened at a cafe like 20 to 30 minutes ago. I was sitting down and I've been going back and forth. I'm in Brisbane, I've been traveling. I've had a little bit of a break today, but it's mostly been just go, 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 go. So I sat down and I was like, shit, I got all my bags behind me. I've been lifting all these heavy bags everywhere. I've been walking and walking, and I finally got the chance to sit down, and then all I wanted to do was just meditate. I just wanted to meditate, and I was battling for a few minutes not to meditate because there are people around me and everyone's going to be looking at me thinking I'm weird. I'm not in Bali where it's not as acceptable. I don't know if people are going to be thinking I'm weird here in Brisbane, but I just said, fuck that. I'm not going to let other people's opinions or the idea of other people having an opinion dictate what I do or what I don't do. If I want to meditate, I'm going to meditate. So I sat down, put my earphones in, put in some music, and I just sat there. And for the first 2 to 3 minutes, my mind was going, or my ego was going, people are staring at you, Matt. People are judging you right now, Matt. People are having all these different thoughts and opinions about you, thinking that you're weird for meditating. But I just allowed myself to just sit in that discomfort. And then 5 to 6 minutes after, when I opened my eyes eventually, I looked around and there wasn't one person looking at me. The ego likes to create this idea that you are more important than you actually are. Well, I can only say from my own experience. The ego likes to create this idea that I am more important than I actually am. And it's a constant reminder to myself that I am not as important as I think. On one end, I'm really fucking important because I'm alive, I am who I am, I'm giving so much value to the world, and just because I have breath. So I'm important. And then it's also a paradox to remind myself that I'm not as important as I think, or I'm not as important as the ego likes to think. This idea of a imaginary audience is really fascinating and comes up so much for me, and I'm not too sure if it comes up for you, but it's so damn tricky. The ego is so damn tricky. It's been even coming up as I've been recording. There's been so many people walking past, and I've been thinking to myself, should I stop? Should I look away? Should I speak more louder so people can hear what I'm saying? It's a bit noisy in the background. So I guess I'm just sharing this because I want to speak from my own experience. Hopefully that from these own experiences that I had today, that it reminds you that you are important, and at the same time you are not important. You are not as important as you think. I'm gonna leave it there. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know the biggest learning that you got from this. And I'm super curious, do you have that experience as well, where your ego likes to create this imaginary audience, where you're walking down the street and you think that everyone's looking at you, or you don't work out at the gym because you have this idea of an imaginary audience, people looking at you and judging you? Or do you have this idea that you can't sit at a cafe by yourself because people are going to be, you have this idea of an imaginary audience staring at you, judging you. What is this person doing by themselves? Do they not have friends? The ego can be tricky. I'm curious, does that happen for you? Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you do have that. I don't know if I'm alone with this, but I'm sure I'm not. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until I see you all in the next video, remember to love all living beings, and most importantly, love thyself.